Those are only getting more and more obnoxious. I think the more obnoxious, the better.
It's a treat. It's a 2-time-in-a-week treat.
Yeah, because we have 2 podcasts this week. Yeah. We're catching up. On our last podcast, we said that we're doing Sunday uploads, but that podcast is going to be up on a Friday.
Yeah. But, going forward, we will have podcasts up on Sundays.
Like this one will be up on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And as far as where you can find it, things might be expanding, so stay tuned.
Yeah, we're working on that. So we're working on getting the podcast up on Spotify, and then we are adding visual next week. Sav here with an editor's note. We were able to get Purple Shampoo up on Spotify, so if you're listening now on YouTube just by default and you've wanted to listen to it on Spotify, you can now go on Spotify and type in Purple Shampoo Podcast and it'll come up. Episodes 2 and 3 are on there.
We will see you guys every Sunday from now on. If for some reason we're skipping a week, we'll let you know beforehand. We're going to start, producing more content for the Purple Shampoo Pod TikTok. Enough of the boring stuff. Let's hop into some fun shit. What's going on this week, Seth?
Well, first we want to talk about the musician/magician that we met at a bar.
Okay.
So let me set this up. Mm-hmm. We go out on Friday night.
Was that Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
We go out on Friday night. It was me, Macy, Sunny, and Pam. Pam, bless her heart, got sick. Yeah. And so then it was just me, Macy, and Sunny. And Macy dragged me to this weird bar.
It's a little hole in the wall.
The vibe was weird. It wasn't as weird when we went the other day. But this day it was weird. I felt like I was in like the Twilight Zone or something. Just a very interesting crowd. Can't really pinpoint like the type of person you would find there. Because it was a lot of like liberal looking men in like Doc Martens and trench coats.
It's a cute bar though. Like I feel like the vibes, especially like on like a Sunday, like when we went back on Sunday, I feel like they were good.
There was a guy drinking a beer reading a book.
That's good.
Do that at home.
Well, he didn't want to. He wanted to drink a little craft beer.
Yeah, now I'm talking shit about him because that was weird.
Okay.
No, I don't really get that. Do you get drunk and read?
Sometimes I do that in the bath with like 3-4 bottles of wine.
I'll drink like a couple glasses of wine and read, but that's more so like wind me down kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go out to a bar and read a book and get drunk.
I don't know. I was vibing with him. He was vibing with me. He supported my dreams.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about another guy at the bar.
Oh.
I didn't even realize that man was drinking a beer and reading a book. I was talking about the guy sitting at the bar. Yeah, okay. I don't know. This place was it was giving like I would be at Starbucks, but I want to smoke a cigarette, so I'm here. So that was the vibe of the bar. We get there and it's just me, Macy, and Sunny. We're just chatting. One of Sunny's friends from work showed up, Michael, which Michael's birthday was the other day.
Oh, yeah, it was, and I adore him.
I adore him. And this guy comes up. He's standing like 6'5", very much Doc Martens in a trench coat vibe. And
wait, are we not going to talk about the man that met us at the table before that? That mansplained French to you?
I didn't know if I could really talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to give personal, intimate details, but we can say that someone that we know, or that Sunny knows, and I know from
Sunny's
a past life.
roommate's ex-boyfriend is who it was.
Yeah.
It was Sunny's roommate's ex-boyfriend came up to the table.
And first of all, y'all, he starts off with, I quit my plant job, and now I work for a gardener.
Yeah.
And I mean, do what you want.
Yeah. No, when you're talking, when you know this information's going to get back to your ex-girlfriend, don't include that you're making $12 an hour. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with making $12 an hour. It's just that he went from being like an engineer at like NASA or something.
6 figures.
And now he's like an aspiring botanist. And like chase your dreams, bro, but like don't tell your like, ex-girlfriend's friend that you're out here, like, just barebacking the world. You know what I mean? Like, if I knew that, like, information, if I'm talking to, like, my ex's friend, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm, like, running for mayor, and, like, things are going really good, and, like, I'm in a great relationship. And I think he kind of caught that vibe for a second, because he was like, oh, yeah, I'm really happy, like, I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
And then Sonny was like, good for you. And then he was like, yeah, but I think about insert roommate's name here all the time.
Yeah.
Like, no, you fumbled. Then he started, like, mansplaining French to me.
I think he was on drugs. I really do.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What drugs? I don't know. He did, like, trip a little bit when he got up.
Yeah.
And that gave me the ick.
Yeah. It was a weird interaction.
I don't talk to white men a lot. And I was telling Sunny this. I was like, I don't talk to white men a lot, and I don't think that I'll be frequenting white men anymore now. That's exactly how I would expect a conversation with a white man to go.
I'm making $12 an hour. You say the word like, ugh.
I don't even know what word I said that he felt so inclined to be like, that's actually not how you say that.
You know, I was talking to Pam the next day about the fact that we ran into him. And she goes, oh yeah, I went to brunch with him and the roommate one time, and he told me that I only got my job because I was a Hispanic woman. That there was probably somebody more qualified than me, but because I was a Hispanic woman, they hired me.
How dare he?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Look at that. Do you think he's getting any advances at the landscaping?
Because he's a white man?
The greenhouse that he's working at because he's a white man?
Yeah.
Yeah, he also tried to mansplain, like, Houston geography and, like, 4th Ward. And he was like, well, yeah, it used to be a black community, but they gentrified it. Like, okay.
It was interesting, for sure.
Yeah.
So he gets up and leaves.
But I just want to say, yeah, that's the type of bar that you would find him at. Like, I'm just saying, what a weird place.
Listen, I like that place.
Do you think he did ketamine in the bathroom?
Probably. Like, the answer is not no.
I digress. So this guy comes up to the table.
After said man that we were talking about prior left.
Yeah, and he's looking around, like scuffing his little shoes in the dirt.
His little shoes.
And I'm like, first of all, I know Macy thinks he's hot. Second of all, let me, like, buff her here. So that Macy doesn't say, I like your fit. You look like Jack Harlow. You're giving Jack Harlow vibes. So I'm like,
God.
What?
Nothing, it's the truth.
Well, because you think he knows who Jack Harlow is?
No.
He'd be like, I love that author. This guy is giving peak, like, English professor vibes.
Oh, it was so good.
So he's, like, digging around in the dirt, kind of, with his foot. And I'm like, are you looking for something? And he's like, well, but don't let me bother you. It's just,
he was like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. It's embarrassing. And I was like, what did he lose? Like, his dick tip in the dirt? Like, what is embarrassing? And so I'm like, well, I don't want to know what this man is looking for if it's embarrassing. So I said, oh, well, if it helps, like, nobody's been over there. So if you lost something, like, if you think you lost something there, like, it's most likely still there because no one came over there. He was like, yeah, I'm just looking for, like, guitar picks. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, is this guy, like, I don't know. I feel like the guitar pick thing was a ploy to get pussy.
I think so, too. I think he was pretty drunk, too.
And when I told my dad this story, my dad said for sure. Like, he thought that a lot of this was to get laid, is what my dad said.
Okay.
Which, isn't that what all men are doing out here? So he's like, I'm actually waiting on my friend. His friend never came. Did his friend ever come?
Well, he did mention it that, like, after he had gotten up, when y'all all went to the bar to get a second drink, he had gone shortly after, and then he came back, because you had come back and you were like, oh, do you want to go? And I was like, well, let's wait till he comes back so he can see me stand up, like, see the fact that I'm tall, you know?
Uh-huh.
And, he was like, oh, well, it's late now, and I guess my friend's not coming. Like, somewhere in between then.
Okay. But anyway, him and Macy sat there for a while and just shot the shit.
To be honest, we were talking about nothing that has to do with magic. We were talking about being tall, and we were talking about COVID, and we were talking about
His
surgery.
brain injury?
Okay, well, he fell down the stairs also. He didn't get into a car accident. He kept referencing...
What?
He kept referencing it as when I got into the accident. And I was like, oh God, like what happened? He goes, it's pretty embarrassing. I fell down a couple flights of stairs.
A couple flights of stairs?
Yeah. Apparently him and his roommates were high on shrooms in college or something, and they were running down the stairwell, and he tripped and he fell like down a couple flights of stairs. And he was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
This is bad. That's taking tripping to a new extent. I was tripping on shrooms. Oh, damn, really? No, like, really.
Like, actually fucking
I fell
tripping.
down 4 flights of stairs.
I'm sorry, but it was so... And when he said that, because, like, we had been talking about this for a while, like, talking about, like... Because I was talking to him about, like, how I had jumped out of the car, and he thought it was, like, crazy, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, well... And he was like, well... I mean, shit like that's happened to me before. And I was like, oh, yeah. He said, I got into this accident. And then we kept talking about it. He was like, yeah, when I got into the accident. He was like, yeah, when I got into the accident. I was like, what happened? Like, did you get in a car accident? And he said, no. I was tripping on shrooms. Fell down a couple flights of stairs. I was like, okay.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So he also keeps mentioning how he's a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Musician. And he was on tour and all of this. And he's like, talking about tour, and we were in Boston, and we were all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he awkwardly gives Macy his number through, like, via his business card. And we look at the business card, and Macy's like, oh, this is a good business card. Macy and her marketing shit is like, this is a good business card. He's like, yeah, I stole it from a tattoo artist because his logo looks like a magician's logo. And we were like, magician?
Yeah, and then he goes...
Because not once did he mention before that he was a magician,
and
right?
I just had assumed that I had heard him wrong the whole time.
Right. And so I was like, oh, you're a magician. He's like, yeah, I do magic. And I said, oh, haha, like, we thought you were saying musician. I guess because of the guitar picks, we thought you were a musician. He said, I am a musician, but magic pays the bills.
Yeah.
And sir, does it really?
It was pretty good.
It was, but like, not that. I mean, whatever. I mean, if it does, it does. I'm not here to knock the man. He did do a trick for us, and it was very good.
It was good.
He was also drunk.
Very drunk.
So he did that drunk. I can only imagine how good it would be sober.
Yeah.
But basically, long story short, we won't like go too deep into the trick, but he like took Macy's ring, and he somehow got it onto his key ring.
Yeah.
And then put the ring in my hands and like shook my hands. And then somehow it ended up in a sealed envelope in his wallet.
Yeah.
I mean, that was good.
It was pretty cool.
It was good.
And our friend, so Sunny was like drunk at the time, and all of a sudden she just starts like gasping, and she goes, I'm not even good at being alive. How are you that good at magic?
And she just keeps going, I love magic!
Yeah. And then she looks at you,
so adorable.
Can you please do it again? Can you please? I'm like, Sunny, this is his job. Like, people pay him for this. Like, he's shown us enough. Like, it's okay. And she's like, but please do it again.
It was really good.
It was fun.
He's really good.
Yeah.
So that was that. Macy and him texted for a brief minute.
No.
And then, like Houdini.
Yeah.
He's going.
Well,
poof.
He did this weird thing because we closed down the bar. Like, it was like 2 a.m. We get up to leave. We were sitting outside, so we had to walk through the bar up to the front, and he followed us. And, like, we were saying bye to everybody, and so I hugged him. I was like, bye, super nice meeting you. He was like, please text me. I was like, okay, cool. And I go to walk to my car, and he keeps following us. I'm like, hey, did you drive here? And he's like, nah, I'm going to get an Uber. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I go to Savannah. I was like, should I offer to take him home? And she goes, no, car, now. It was just, it was weird. I think he definitely expected something after talking to me for like 2.5 hours, but oh well.
He didn't get that.
Because also he was making these like weird like hints, like dropping weird hints that he was into like large women. Like, as he was talking to me, he would be like, because I was talking about the fact that he was 6'5", and he was like, yeah, well, I feel like it's just, like, a double standard, because when they make men's, like, big and tall clothes, it's like they make them for linebacker body types, where I'm, like, a lanky tall, but he was like, for women, they make plus-size clothing for, like, rail thin tall women. And I was like, I don't really
they actually
think
don't.
so. Yeah, and he was like, but women, like, he was like, at least, like, but I know this from experience from ex-girlfriends. He said tall women have beautiful big hips. Like, things he would say like that. Or he'd be like, thighs, like, are perfect. Like, on beautiful, big, tall women. And I'd be like, okay, like, I get it. You don't have to tell me that you're attracted to me anymore. Like, thank you. You know, it was just kind of weird.
Thanks for the validation.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a turnoff for me.
Yeah.
When guys, like, go on and on about how much they like big women, like, show me when we fuck that you like big women. Like, I don't need to hear about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But whatever. So that was interesting.
Definitely something I won't forget. It was fun.
Yeah. I would expect nothing less out of that bar.
I'm glad it's the experience we had.
It was good people watching. I'll say that. I also got hit on.
by this guy who was like 5'5" and literally
looked like he just did meth.
Yeah.
Like, he looked like he crawled out of the pinball machine.
Oh my god.
It was giving very much Leprechaun vibes. And I will say shout out to his friends, because they were good men for what they did. Because this guy hit on me. He asked me for my Instagram. I said, I don't have an Instagram. And he was like, oh, come on, I know you do. And I was like, no, I got rid of all my social media, like, at the beginning of the year. And then he was like, well, can I get your number then? And I just kind of, like, laughed and, like, kept walking. And his friends were like, she already said no, bro. Like, she said no. And he was like, oh, she's just so beautiful. And they were like, okay, but she said no. So I appreciate that.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. Also, Sunny's friend that we mentioned that showed up, he showed up a little bit later, and when he walked into the bar, he accidentally, like, bumped that guy, and that guy spilled his drink all over himself. And that was the same guy that hit on me later.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was funny.
Weird.
But yeah, we went back to that bar the other day, and then we came home and we watched the second episode of Euphoria, which was interesting. The second episode of Euphoria did not do it for me.
It wasn't very memorable at all.
Preface, is it preface or preface?
It's a preface.
Okay, to preface this, we're going to be talking about Euphoria, The Bachelor, and Cheer for the next little bit. So if you're not interested in those shows or you don't want spoilers, skip through a little bit. And then also, Cheer has some mature subject matter about SA. So if you're not down for that, skip forward a little bit. We'll put a timestamp in the description so you know where to skip forward to.
Okay. No, but I felt like the second episode of Euphoria was just a plot moving device. Like, literally all it was building up the tension between Fezco, Cal, and Nate, and then also Cassie and Maddie. Because there was no other purpose for it. Now, I will say, the thing that made me the most irritated about the second episode was the way that, like, Nate so casually addressed Jules to Cal after we saw him have that mental fucking breakdown in season 1. Like,
who had the mental breakdown? Nate?
Yeah, when he screams and is like banging his head into the floor. Yeah, because because he can't believe that his, like, the peak of his, like, masculinity is fucking men. I don't know, but
also, can we address? So Nate was jacking off to videos of his dad having sex.
No, I don't think that was ever the case.
For that, I think, but, like, I don't think that is. I don't want to say conventional. I don't want to say that they're not conventionally attractive anymore. I don't think that's the desire of a lot of people anymore.
Hands down, Teddy is the most beautiful woman on the entire show.
She is.
Yeah.
But also, in that same token, Nate was the most beautiful man on that season.
By far.
And he's very conventionally attractive. He's tall, dark, and handsome, conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
And why would they choose any other person besides Nate? From day one, you can look into the crowd of the contestants and you can see that's the best pick. In this crowd of people, Teddy is the best pick.
Yeah.
And so I say all this because I think every single season they go with the best pick because they wouldn't have that option. That person would not be in their dating pool ordinarily. And quite frankly, these people are out of their leagues. Because all of the people that they cast as the Bachelor or the Bachelorette have to be likable, conventional, and relatable. So do you think anywhere in Clayton's realm he would meet a woman that looks like Teddy?
I think you're right, but I think somewhere they might be, I don't know. I totally get what you're saying, and I also think that it's very, like, it's a proven formula, right? We've seen it time and time again. The person who is the most attractive or the person who looks the best usually gets pretty far or wins the whole show, right? But I think that the interesting thing about The Bachelor is not that these people are being picked for, like, their chemistry or whatever, but those people are human, you know? Like, Clayton, he's just a ex-football player from a small town in Missouri or something? I don't know. Like, and this beautiful, light-skinned, curly-haired, like, goddess is like, I want to marry you, I'm ready to marry you, also I'm a virgin, you know, like, hell, like, yes, please sign me up every time.
Right, and so that's where I'm going with this. But, like, that's not your person. Or maybe it is, I don't know. But the thing is every single season, they go with the obvious best pick, but that's not your person. That's just likely not your person. So, like, if I were looking at the dating pool, and Nate from Michelle's season were in my dating pool, I would say, give me that one. I'll make it work.
Yeah.
But that's not my person.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched this man through an entire season, and I can just tell red flag after red flag after red flag, that's not my person. Doesn't mean that he's not fine as hell. It doesn't mean that, like, I couldn't get along with him for 15 minutes. Yeah. But am I supposed to marry that man? No. And so that's where I was going, is that they always choose the best pick based off of personality and looks, but are you even compatible with that person? Because you said, well, it's a formula that's proven to work. It actually doesn't. Because Peter did that with Hannah Ann and Maddie. That didn't work. Obviously, those two girls from the beginning were... Maddie is, like, one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Yeah. Yeah, why wouldn't you choose her? Well, because y'all aren't compatible. Claire and Dale. Dale was obviously the finest man on that show. How'd that work out? Tayshia and Zach, that was kind of an anomaly. I don't really know what happened there. And then, but I will say this. I'm not a huge Tayshia fan, but she's been in the Bachelor franchise for long enough that I wouldn't be surprised if she skewed it a little bit and chose the guy that wasn't the front runner of the season because she knew that it would make her look better. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, look at the pattern. It's happened like this every single season. And the only season it didn't happen on was on Tayshia's, who's also the co-host of a podcast, hosted the show, and has been on 3 seasons of The Bachelor. Yeah. I don't like accents. They irritate me.
Jacob and Lordy could literally, oh my god, I know he's awful in the show, but that man is fun. Have you ever seen him stand next to literally anybody? He's, like, so tall.
He's not hot to me.
Okay.
I'm sorry. He doesn't do it for me. And I mean that, like, and we've had this conversation where I can look at him and I can understand that he's an attractive white male. Like, I get it. Like, I see him and I'm like, okay, I understand that he's supposed to be hot. He's just not hot to me.
That's fine. But
no, I mean, it's all subjective or whatever. But I actually think he's supposed to be objectively attractive. Also, talking about objectively attractive, I want to talk about The Bachelor.
Okay.
So, we've gotten through the first 2 episodes of The Bachelor. They did a bye week for a stupid fucking football game, which, if I can go on a small rant about that, can you imagine if we canceled a football game for The Bachelor? If we were like, oh, sorry, no football game tonight, The Bachelor's on. And I've heard mass men talk about, well, it's whatever gets more views. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. But, like, what if, like, the Emmys, or what if the football game was canceled because of the Emmys? Or objectively attractive is a common theme in The Bachelor. And I was thinking about this season of The Bachelor, and clearly our front runner is Teddy. As she should be.
Yeah, she's my favorite. But I honestly, I'm going to say something problematic that I've been thinking about since you brought up this topic a while ago.
Okay.
I don't think she's conventionally attractive.
What?
Mm-hmm. I think I think her lips are shaped really beautifully and, like, differently. I think that the fact that she has natural hair is absolutely beautiful and, like, different than literally any other woman on that show and this whole season. I think, and maybe, I don't know, I just think she stands out for the fact that she literally looks like you could place her in a forest and she'd, like, belong there. Like, very pixie, very wanderlust, like, type beauty.
When you look at the rest of the cast for the show, the rest of the contestants or whatever, they're all stick, thin, white women with blonde hair.
Right.
And I think that used to be what was conventionally attractive.
Well, I think that's what The Bachelor is trying to push with what they cast.
After that was Matt's season. Matt's season with...
I have no idea. I don't think anybody won that season.
He's still with her.
Yeah, but he didn't pick her. They literally told him he could.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's weird. But he liked her the entire time.
And she was very beautiful.
Right. So I don't know. I just think that that's interesting in my opinion. That, like, yeah, if you were to say, hey, like, Drake wants to marry you right now, I would say absolutely. But that's probably not my soulmate. You know what I'm just like, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. Do y'all think that that's true?
I need to talk about something else while we're on the topic of The Bachelor.
What?
That lady who is fucking nuts. What's her name?
Which one, Cassidy or Shanae?
Both of them!
Shanae. Why that woman stood up and did the nay-nay?
It was bad. Savannah and I watched it in bed while eating voodoo donuts, and I think I've never cringed as hard as I did when she got up in front of the rest of the girls and whipped and nay-nayed. It was awful.
If you can't nay-nay, which you probably can't, don't nay-nay.
Literally. And then also let's talk about Cassidy and how
batshit fucking nuts she is.
But not even, okay.
She's cuckoo.
I'm not here to decorate a kid's birthday party. Bitch, yes you are.
No, but me and you had that conversation when we watched it. I said, she didn't lie. Like, yeah, you don't have to decorate a kid's birthday party. I'm here to find love. I'm not here. Don't care.
Oh my god.
I don't know. She didn't lie on that one. Is she extremely unlikable? Yeah. But she was on the right thing. She was like, I don't like kids. Okay. Talk your shit, twin. Like, you don't like kids. Okay. I mean, the trash is going to take itself out on that one.
And she has something to say on TikTok, too.
Oh, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Cassidy having a sneaky link and all of that. Should Clayton have been able to send her home because she had a friends with benefits before she came on the show?
I mean, and that's what he believes. I don't know. But her point was, in her TikTok, I had a friends with benefits, so I'm not ready to get married. But the girl who was engaged 2 seconds before she got here, you gave her a rose. Fair. I see both sides.
Yeah, my thing is, well, he's just not that into you. I think that he can send you home for whatever reason he wants to, and you're not entitled to be there.
I see why it would be frustrating. I see where it's like, oh, I didn't even know you yet. How can you blame me? But I also see the fact that this man is, you know, supposedly trying to find someone.
But also, why is she running around telling these women who are trying to marry, the same guy, hey, I got dicked down before I came on this show?
True.
Like, what was your thought process on that? If anything, he sent you home because you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I also have a theory that Clayton's not as nice as he portrays himself to be.
And we've seen TikToks about him too.
Railing some man's girlfriend.
In the living room. Bent her over the couch.
Yeah, I don't know. That's that girl's fault for cheating on her man. But I don't know. I have this theory that I'm just kind of going to sit on it because, like I said in the first episode, we were excited for Clayton's season. There's no reason for me to believe I don't like him. I'm just starting to think that he might be awkward or off-putting or something personally.
God, do his teeth bother anybody else?
I haven't seen his teeth.
His teeth, it looks like vampire teeth. I don't know. It's crazy.
But in the first episode, that first girl who was deranged in her failed engagement went home. And then, which I'm sure she's going to come back later.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then another girl went home because she just didn't like him. She said that...
Oh, she went around telling everybody she hated him.
No, I'm talking about a different woman.
Oh.
This woman said that she just didn't like him, and she felt that it would be unfair to, like, get to know him and stuff because she's taking away time from other people, which good for her. She was there for the right reasons, and she went home, but she just said she didn't like him that much, which I had never seen before. And then there was another girl running around saying that she hated him, which I've also never seen before.
Yeah.
But then, last show we're going to talk about is Cheer. I've watched the first and part of the second season. I'm on episode 7. Macy has watched the first season.
And I've read some spoilers with the second.
Okay, well, I don't want any spoilers.
Okay.
I don't really know. I was thinking about that. I was like, well, I don't want to ruin anything for Macy, but there's not a lot to, like, spoil. You kind of just watch them practice, and then they go to Daytona. However, they do address the Jerry drama.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even want to call it drama. Jerry's crimes that he committed, allegedly, because he hasn't gone to trial yet, but what he's facing, his charges that he's facing.
That's honestly what I was really interested in.
Well,
because Monica's reaction was I wanted to know what it was.
Well, I want to talk about that some. But yeah, as far as, like, the second season, they have Navarro, and then they introduce another school called Trinity Valley.
Yeah. And
I want to know from the audience, are y'all fans of Navarro or Trinity Valley?
So everyone that I've talked to that's watched the second season have been like, I was secretly hoping for Trinity to win, Trinity to win.
No, me too.
Oh, okay.
Because Navarro falls apart.
Really?
Basically, and, like, it's not spoilers, because if you wanted to know, what's her face was on Dancing with the Stars.
Monica, yeah.
Monica was on Dancing with the Stars. So, obviously, for a whole semester, she was gone. And then Ladarius, like flipped on her. Mm-hmm. And, hates her, or hated her. I don't know how it ends. But he was, like, mad that she abandoned the team and all that, which I kind of get that because, yeah, you're a coach of a team and they just got famous. And it's really important that they look good and, like, continue on their path to, like, win Daytona and stuff. And right when they're in the spotlight, you leave there. Yeah. And I get that you want to go and be on Dancing with the Stars, but I wonder how she would feel if all her top, like, performers, her top athletes left to go take up opportunities and just ditch the whole team. The team would fall apart, and then all of this, like, this legacy that you've built and this spotlight that's on you, there's nothing there. Yeah. Because they all left, and so she did that to them. So I get why they would be upset about that. Especially recruiting, too. Like, a lot of people, they've worked their entire lives to do cheer in college, and now they go to Navarro, and the coach that they came for is not there anymore.
Yeah.
and they could have gone to like Trinity Valley or something when it's most crucial for you to be there. So I don't know. I like Trinity Valley's team. They didn't talk about Trinity Valley at all in the first season, and Trinity Valley like comes in second in Daytona like just by this much every single year. So they're like neck and neck with them. And there's a girl on Trinity Valley. Her last name is Rice. I forget her first name all the time. She's good.
The Tumblr?
Yeah. Her and her brother both go to school there, and they are amazing. Oh, cool. She's really good. They're from Atlanta, and she's great. They
call her like the Simone Biles of cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even need to watch the second season.
I've read so much about it.
But I know that episode 6 of Cheers where they talk about Jerry. And I first want to say my heart goes out to the victims of Jerry. And my heart also goes out to those around Jerry. Yeah. To Gabby, to Monica, to Jerry's family. Because, so Gabby Butler in the show was like, people want me to hate him and they want me to stop talking to him, and I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
She's like, my heart hurts. I'm sad, but like, I can't leave him.
Yeah.
He's going through a really dark time and I can't leave him. And people are saying that she's like a rape apologist and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's a huge difference between I'm struggling with like what heinous thing this person did and I support this person.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine if, like, you did something and I just had to, like, turn my back on you. Yeah. Like, that would hurt. Yeah. I would be like, I really wish that you wouldn't have done that because I love you. And I think that you would just struggle with, like, this person that I know and this act that this person did.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of complications to all of those emotions that tie into the idea of someone that you love doing something that you never thought they were capable of doing. Mm-hmm. And I think that until you go through that situation, you cannot judge someone who is going through it.
Right. Matching with Macy.
Oh, Lord, guys. So
we had Stingray, Socks, and Tyson.
Okay. Tyson.
Tyson was my pick.
So shortly after we filmed that episode, he asked to FaceTime me. Besties, it was awful. It was awful. Savannah was there. She can attest. It was bad.
I think I got a text from you, like halfway through the phone call.
Yeah, I said, get me off here.
Off of this.
Yeah, get me off of this. So she immediately just screams, Macy, I need you! And I'm like, oh, what's going on? And she's like, I need you right now, hurry! I was like, oh, my roommate's calling me, bye. And I hung up the phone. It was interesting.
He was ugly, right? Did you mention that?
He looked nothing like his pictures. Nothing.
I failed on that one. And then
Stingray never replied to my message. We matched. She never replied to my message.
Okay.
Socks and I talked for a good minute.
Oh, and the conversation was cute.
It was so cute. And then he left me hanging for a second, messaged me a couple days later and was like, hey, sorry, like, I've been busy. Can I get your number?
Did he ask you out on a date?
Yeah, he wanted to go to... Yes. It was bullshit, though. I never gave him my number. We ended up not matching. I do that a lot where, like, I'll be interested in someone for a couple days. We'll have good conversation. And then I'll just be over the fact that, like, I have to reply every now and then I won't reply.
So let us know how you feel about matching with Macy. If y'all want us to continue to do that segment, if you're not that into it, let us know.
I feel like it's fun, but also, like, I'm so bad at, like, replying to people and, like, what do you call it? Like, festering relationships with people that I don't know, that it's kind of pathetic. And I'll say this, like, about that part of my life. I don't think that I'm fully ready to start doing that yet. Mm-hmm. And I recognize that I don't think I realized how incredibly heartbroken I still was over what I had lost and, like, the past relationship that I was in and how much there was to resolve from the aftermath of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be really open about that because I'm sure that, like, there are people that listen to this podcast or, like, just, like, that know someone that's going through something like that. Because I know that Savannah and I met at, like, times we were both going through something that was, you know, similar. And I think that just because it's been a while, it doesn't mean that we're, you know, I can't speak for you, but I'm still not going through that. It just means I'm better at hiding it until something happens. And, like, recently, like, I found out new information about it, and it was really hard for me to digest just the fact that, like, oh, maybe this chapter of my life is really over. Because sometimes I think that I do, well, Savannah tells me this all the time, I do this thing where I will romanticize the truth or, like, fantasize, like, what could never really be reality. So, like, for example, like, my ex cheated on me after 6 years, but in my brain, like, we would go away from each other, become better people, and always end up back together. Well, I found out there's someone new in the picture now, and that ruins that fantasy, or, like, that romanticization of that fantasy. So now it's, like, all crashing down onto this big, like, scoop of reality to where it's, like, get with the program. This podcast? But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. If you've gone through a breakup after a long time, like, email purpleshampoopod@gmail.com. Love to read some of your stories, anecdotes. Tell me how you got through it. Like, live with this person, adopted animals with this person, did everything with this person, and suddenly you're learning to live life without the possibility of ever gaining that back. That's hard. And I'd love to hear, you know, if any of you have done that before.
So, last two things I want to talk about. I have a new obsession on TikTok. I have two new obsessions on TikTok.
Okay.
First is this matchmaking lady that I came across.
Okay.
I'm calling her that briefly because I forgot what her name was. I think it's Matchmaking with Maria. Real Matchmaker Maria. And I'm going to send you one of her videos, and I want you to watch it. But basically, this lady's a matchmaker, and you can send in your dating profiles, and she'll tell you, like, what you need to do. Like, she critiques your dating profile.
Lord knows I need it.
I Critique Your Online Dating Profile, episode 161. Quick reminder, people request these profile critiques, and if you would like to receive one, visit the link in my bio. This is Brianna. She's interested in meeting men in both New York City and North Jersey. I say this respectfully, but I don't like most of the photos in this profile. Something just always feels off. So in this particular photo, I feel like there's a filter. And we really want to stay away from filtered photos online. Plus, I don't know, I love the color of the shirt, but I don't want your first photo to be a selfie in someone's living room. Go outside, and if it's too cold, go next to a window. Get that natural light on your face. A lot of people really want to do this, so this is great, but maybe you can also put down like 3 or 4 countries you hope to visit, give people some ideas. I would also not make this your first prompt. I would really like your first prompt to be a little bit more about you. Values, hobbies, interests. Let's talk about you. Yeah, I'd remove this photo. This belongs on Instagram stories, not on your online dating profile. I promise I'm not trying to roast her. I just feel like this photo, it's not doing her justice. Ponytail, sunglasses, turtleneck sweater. Again, another prompt where you're writing something that most people want to do, right? Like, you know, there's nothing really unique so far. This is a very boring and non-unique answer because almost everyone is looking for someone to try out new restaurants. Instead, use this prompt to answer something a little bit more literally. I'm looking for a relationship with someone who is family-oriented, enjoys doing the crossword puzzles, gets excited about new episodes of My Favorite Murder, and craft beer. As a for instance, I don't like this photo.
Oh, wow!
This is a pretty good controversial opinion, so you can keep this. Your friend is really cute here. This photo does you a disservice on your online dating profile. Remove it. This is the only photo I like, and you can make this the second to last photo. But this is the only photo I like. I feel like I can totally understand your energy here. Keep this one. Since you live in North Jersey, if you're interested, my company does offer profile makeovers, and that includes a photo shoot. So let me know if you want some help. I critique your online dating profile.
Oh, wow.
I need your thoughts.
Oh, wow. Wow, I would never send her my profile.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
But also, I want her to have my profile.
You should send yours in, absolutely.
I just want to see what she would do with it. So, I binge watched all of her TikToks.
Okay.
And I think that it's really interesting. I used to watch this show, Millionaire Matchmaker.
Uh-huh. I love that show.
Okay. She was great.
Uh-huh.
She was everything I wanted to be.
Uh-huh.
But it's this, like, I don't know. It's interesting, these rules to dating. And I remember she had, what was her name? Stacy?
Mm-hmm.
She had, like, this 3-drink maximum and, like, all this, like, these dating rules. And it's like, how much? Anyway, yeah, how serious should we take dating apps? Should we make it look like a LinkedIn? I don't know.
I think it just depends on what you're expecting to get out of using a dating app.
That's true. I would not feel comfortable putting all of that on a dating app because I feel like that's a very quick way to get manipulated and love bombed and taken advantage of.
Yeah.
But I can just see the wrong person with the wrong intentions having all that information so soon and running with it.
Yeah.
Which brings us to West Elm Caleb.
I don't know what that is.
Have you been looking forward to that at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So I haven't gone down the rabbit hole that is West Elm Caleb. But from what I understand, West Elm Caleb is a guy who's on Tinder or Bumble or something in New York. And a whole bunch of girls have swiped on West Elm Caleb, and he's love bombed them. And, like, gone on a date with them and then stood them up or talked to them for a long time and never dated them. And just all these girls have these stories about West Elm Caleb. And so one girl, I guess, made a TikTok where she talked about her experience with Caleb, and then someone commented and said, "Is this West Elm Caleb?" So he gets his name from his profile where he says that he's a furniture designer for West Elm.
Okay.
So West Elm Caleb.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if there's somewhere in the cloud, like, pictures of your face every time you do Face ID. My FBI agent is like, Jesus Christ. Okay. West Elm Caleb. Is West Elm going to speak out about this?
Leave it up to the TikTok gods now, and if this video shows up on your For You page and you happen to be dating a West Elm Caleb, consider yourself warned.
The way that I rushed to make this video, I also have a story about West Elm Caleb.
Ooh, okay.
So around Halloween, we matched on Hinge, and he was like love bombing to a T, messaging. And I was like, look, like, my friends and I are going out for Halloween. Like, why don't you meet us so we can meet? And he was like, no, I want to meet in a wholesome way. That was the text I got, and I was like, okay. And so he was like, let's get coffee, like, the next day or whatever. And I was like, all right. Long story short, I'm waiting online at a bar, and he sends me a full mirror selfie with his face and his everything in it with his penis out. And I was like, one, that's very risky. Two, what the fuck? And then the next day proceeds to ghost me. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I deleted it. I'm not that type of person to hold on to news like that. And then the next month messages me again and goes, sorry, like, I was just afraid that you were going to use me for my body. I was like, huh? I thought we were getting coffee.
I thought we were getting coffee.
And so he's texting me about, like, you know, girls see it and see that it's big and don't want anything else. And I get used for my body. And I was like, I don't even know what to say to that. I was like, okay, like, sis, I know how it feels. Like, welcome to being a woman. And then he asked me on Snapchat, and I don't know why the fuck I was even entertaining giving him another chance. We were like, okay, maybe we'll get lunch or something. And I was like, maybe I'll give you a second to explain the audacity of yourself. And then he asked me on Snapchat, and I add it, and then it's another photo of his penis. And I was like, what the fuck? I texted him, I was like, are you absolutely out of your mind? And then he goes me again. So that's my West Elm Caleb story. He lives on the Upper East Side. You have been...
What a queen. I don't keep nudes of people, but I will keep a screenshot.
Okay. She said, I was too busy getting left hanging on multiple occasions. And then he said, well, for starters, I was nervous, LMAO. She said, why? From the look of your photo that I've deleted, you did not seem nervous, LOL. He said, listen, I immediately regretted sending that. Not because I wasn't into you, but because it made it seem like I was that kind of guy, which is something I'm not good at pulling off, LOL. I have to say something. I could see men in Houston being like, Savvy H.
Because I'm West Elm Caleb.
For any man
I think
over 6'2" with a good beard in Houston, motherfucking Texas.
I'm West Elm Caleb. Great. Oh, here's his profile.
What
Designer at West Elm. He's not cute.
Who is West End Caleb and why is he ghosting every girl in New York City? Well, let's get into it. So the hashtag West End Caleb is literally going viral on TikTok right now. And it's because this one man is love bombing every girl and then literally ghosting them. So allegedly, West End Caleb is this guy right here. Some girl posted.
I hate the way she says Elm.
Uh-huh.
M. What did she say? Can I shoot it? West M.
West M.
They're not 100% sure if this is him, but it seems legit. But they call him West End Caleb because obviously his name is Caleb. And he's a designer at West Elm. And he's on all these dating apps.
So she can say it properly.
I think she thought it was West End until she read it.
Oh, well then redo the whole TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's messaging girls, love bombing them, sending them amazing Spotify playlists, and then either ghost them immediately before the date or after a few dates. And he's done this to hundreds of girls, it seems like. One girl posted it on TikTok, and then another girl was like, wait, that happened to me. And then another girl was like, that happened to me. I mean, you guys, look at all of these videos. It's insane. All about West Elm Caleb. But anyways, what side are you on? Do you love West Elm Caleb, or did he ghost you? Barstool has some merch. Link in bio, go check it out. But that's...
God, Barstool's fast. God, they're fucking fast. Can they use his likeness like that?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I don't absorb any of her media. I have no idea what happened between her and Jake Gyllenhaal.
But if we ever see that cheeky motherfucker...
I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I don't absorb...
Okay, I'm probably going to get canceled for saying this, but the West Elm Caleb discourse on this app has been horrifying to watch. For people who don't know, West Elm Caleb is this guy who kind of has a reputation of being a notorious fuckboy and dating multiple women through New York City dating apps. Now, women have come forward sort of all sharing these horrible experiences with this one man, and there's this mass campaign with millions of views to essentially like kind of ruin his life and make him, I guess, never be able to date again. And I don't think this is what a lot of the women who initially came forward intended. I mean, they seem to kind of like want to be speaking about their experiences and these really harmful things that happened to them. I mean, in some cases, it sounds like he sent nudes unconsensually. I mean, that kind of stuff is not okay. But the secondary discourse and the way this is immediately kind of commoditized into drama content is what I've found to be extremely concerning. The first thing is, a lot of what's being said about this man is borderline defamatory. I'm shocked, maybe it's just the journalist in me again, that so many of you guys are comfortable saying what you say on this app because it is wild. Also, people on here will believe anything. I mean, anyone can say anything on this app and the hordes of commenters will just believe it and jump on it and act on it. If some TikToker you follow told you to jump off the cliff, I know 99% of people on this app would jump off the cliff. All of that to say that I've seen comments, trying to get him fired. I've seen people kind of like wanting to put him on some kind of registry. I mean, I took a ton of screenshots earlier, but it's horrifying just the vitriol that this man is getting. So much of the stuff that he's accused of, like love bombing and just these personal interactions that people have, are very subjective. And it doesn't seem like he has any kind of like institutional power over anyone or anything. He's not like some big time CEO where calling him out in this public and urgent way is necessary. And while sending unconsensual dick pics is bad, I don't think it warrants a mass cancellation event. There's this thing people do online a lot where they kind of want to feel like they have a moral justification for hating someone. Like, you can't just hate someone or say, ugh, they really hurt me, or wow, that person was a shitty person. It has to be like, I'm morally correct for hating this person. And again, that's not to defend Caleb, right? He might be a horrible piece of shit, but it's this weird, like, pathologizing of him, diagnosing him with personality disorders by people that don't even know him. It all just feels very off to me. And the drama content being created around it is sort of just like fueling the fire. So yeah, just my perspective from the outside, I just wish people would kind of cool down a bit. Okay, I'm probably...
That was the longest TikTok I've ever seen.
That's a lot to unpack.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, my biggest thing on that is she used the word subjective, which all of this is subjective. So if women are coming out and they're sharing their stories and they're showing screenshots, now, do I think that he should get fired from his job? Maybe. You shouldn't be putting your job in your bio.
Yeah.
On a dating app, and then sending unsolicited dick pics, ghosting people, starting beef with people.
Yeah. Playing
with people's feelings, manipulating them, because that doesn't represent the company that you work for well.
I don't know. I feel like this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like, are dating apps extensions of social media? Because anything that you put on a dating app is public information.
Right.
And so you should be able to share your experience with someone on social media, just like you should be able to share your experience with someone on a dating app.
But let us know your thoughts. We touched on a lot of topics today. So let us know your thoughts. Always feel free to email us on purpleshampoo@gmail.com. We'd prefer that probably more than a comment. Yeah. Leave a comment, but also tell us your thoughts through an email.
Tell us about your day. Tell us a joke. Tell us about how Tommy at the gas station hit on you while you were pumping $20 left on your credit card into your gas tank.
Yeah, and then we will see y'all next Sunday with another episode of Purple Shampoo.